So, first things first, guys. How are you?
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You played a show here at Lowlands. How did it go?
It was great.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been a short tour so far, but I think we said it was our favorite show of the tour so far.
Yeah.
It was a fun show.
What made it so good?
It's possible that we kind of had a crazy all-night travel journey where we went from a show in Sweden straight to an airport onto a plane, and we landed at like 9 a.m. without sleeping, and then we got onto a bus and fell asleep, and then they forgot that Ryan and I were in the bus, and so we had somebody knocking and saying, "The show is in an hour, you have to wake up." So it was quite a delirium.
It felt almost like a dream, like when we were playing.
Yeah, it was kind of dream state.
Okay, well, yeah, what goes through your mind when you wake up and you know it's only an hour till showtime?
I mean, your brain's not even working. You're just like following one foot in front of the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it was a really, really fun show. I don't know, for whatever reason, like maybe because of the lack of sleep, but it felt like really fun, and the crowd was really good. So.
And well, you have a new album coming up. So did you play some songs from the new album?
We did, yeah. We kind of played a lot of songs.
More than we usually do, I think,
Yeah.
at a festival.
Yeah, we're really excited to play these songs live. They're very fun for us, and so we know the album's not out yet, but we indulge by playing a bunch of new songs.
Is it always an anxious thing to try them out when the album isn't released yet, so you don't know what people think?
We did this short tour back in the States where we played like some small clubs, and that was the first time we played a lot of the songs, and so we kind of got to test them out and see what people thought, and so that was really cool. We kind of got to see what they sounded like live, and so I think this is the first time playing them in like festival settings, so yeah, it was kind of an experiment, I guess.
Did you already notice something about maybe a track that went over well?
Yeah, there's a few songs that we've kind of been happy that seem to, even before people know the song, seem to really connect to. There's a couple that kind of stand out like that. There's this one song, Coins, that kind of has like a much more R&B influence than most of our other songs do.
Do you know why?
Why that they react to it?
No, why the R&B influence on that particular song?
Well, that's because you...
I mean, yeah, we've been listening to so much, different music, and I think just trying to expand ourselves and try new things with the songs we write, and it was like, why not? Let's, I love listening to D'Angelo, and I think it would just be like fun for us to try something new, and then somehow it kind of worked for us, and we just kind of like made it a local native song.
And this idea of trying something new, I think Villainy was kind of a song about that. That's what I read in the press release, the ability to change your situation. So how come it was, maybe it wasn't, but how come it was necessary for the band to change the situation and to delve into other?
I think it's a good question. Well, one answer is that you maybe always want to change your situation. It feels like if you're not progressing into somewhere new, then it feels like stagnation, and creatively, there are big gaps between our records, so we're quite different people even, and our influences are really growing and expanding. So that's kind of one answer. And then maybe something more specific is our previous album, Hummingbird, is a really kind of like cathartic, a little bit darker record for us, and it was processing, going through kind of a lot more difficult times for the band and us as individuals, and we were just in a really new place when we started making this record. We were all at home living in LA, and it felt like the world was just kind of ours, and it felt this very creative environment, and it was just connecting kind of with the joy of this is exciting. So we were also just in that place where it was natural and pretty fun for us to push ourselves to trying these new things.
You mentioned that you're quite different people amongst each other. So is it important for the band to have this time off, or do you see each other while not making music as well?
Wait, is the question Time off. Oh, you mean between the
Yeah,
records?
yeah, because the previous record was 2013.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I mean, you put a record out like beginning of 2013, and then we toured
Sure.
almost for 2 years.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know, and it's just
So we kind of didn't take
Oh,
a
you
break
didn't?
from each
Okay,
other.
okay.
yeah, you know,
Yeah.
and then you want to kind of stop touring and then focus on like writing, and so then it took us, I think, like a year and a little bit more to kind of write and record the record. So I think we're trying to figure out how to shorten those gaps, but you know, bands tour so much nowadays, and you know, we tour a lot, so we'll figure it out, but not sure yet.
Okay. And was Villainy the first track that kind of started the whole process of the new record?
It may have been. There were a couple, but that was one of the earliest ones. We didn't finish it till quite later, but it was one of the early songs that kicked off this writing session. We did a writing session in Thailand at the end of 2014, and there were about 3 songs. I think Villainy, Past Lives, and Sea of Years are these 3 songs that all started to come together during that trip, and that kind of really started when we were making the record.
You mentioned Thailand. Does the environment where you are creative, does that have an influence on what comes out?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, this album especially, we like kind of went out of our way to make sure we like traveled while we were writing this record, you know, so we weren't just staying like in the same building, in the same studio, you know. I think while we were trying to experiment with writing new styles of songs or using new instrumentation and stuff, I think we were also like, what happens if we just change our surroundings completely? And I think most of the time we ended up going to like sunny, beautiful places, but still, you know, going from Thailand to Joshua Tree to Nicaragua, just bouncing around, I think really kind of like lets you rethink things, you know, kind of see things from like a different perspective.